Welcome to the Explainer. Now, if you're gearing up for the CPA BAR exam, you already know that performance metrics are, well, a massive part of the curriculum, right? Today, we're going to tackle a highly testable topic that literally shows up time and time again, the balanced scorecard. I'm going to give you a super clear, exam-focused breakdown of this whole concept. That way, when you see these questions pop up on test day, you'll know exactly how to handle them. We're going to visualize exactly how this framework operates. Let's dive in. Here's our study map for today. We're going to cover mastering the scorecard, the perspectives logical flow, a deep dive into key measures, the domino effect scenario, and finally, those tricky CPA bar exam traps. Okay, part one, master the balanced scorecard beyond financials. Historically, businesses relied almost entirely on short-term financial metrics like net income. But here's the catch. Financial results are lagging indicators. By the time you actually see profits drop, the root cause of the problem has already been happening for months. So relying solely on short-term financials? Yeah, that's a massive strategic mistake. To fix this, we look to a core philosophy straight from the source: an entity cannot manage what cannot be measured. To create real long-term value, a business has to balance its short-term financial data with non-financial, long-term considerations. And to do that, you've got to find a way to actually measure those non-financial aspects. So, enter the classic balanced scorecard. It's built on 4 distinct perspectives: financial performance, customer service, internal business process, and learning and growth. Basically, these 4 perspectives let management take a totally holistic view of the organization. But listen, they aren't just 4 random buckets of data. Oh no, they directly interact with one another. It's like a giant puzzle where every single piece matters. Which brings us to section 2, the perspectives logical flow, bottom-up success. Okay, the absolute secret to mastering this topic is understanding that these 4 perspectives follow a really strict bottom-up causal chain. Achievement in one level literally fuels achievement in the next one up. Now, here is a memory device you'll want to write down on your scratch paper the literal second you sit for the exam. Ready? Let's improve cash flow. The first letters stand for learning, internal, customer, and financial. Let's improve cash flow. Seriously, lock that into your short-term memory right now, because knowing this upward flow is going to be a lifesaver for those complex scenario questions. Let's actually walk through how this achievement flows upward. Step 1, right at the foundation, is learning and growth. You absolutely must have a competent, innovative, and well-trained workforce. When you've got that, it naturally leads to step 2, effective internal business processes. Think about it. Your highly trained staff is obviously going to create better, faster, and higher quality operations. Then those killer internal processes lead us to step 3, satisfied buyers in the customer service perspective. Because your operations are running so smoothly, your customers are getting great products on time. And finally, when you satisfy your customers, you hit step 4, value creation in the financial perspective. Happy customers buy more, and that drives your gross revenues and profitability straight up. Moving on to section 3, deep dive, key measures, categorizing critical success factors. So for the exam, you really need to know how to categorize critical success factors and their specific metrics into the right perspectives. But first, let's just briefly define what a measure actually is within the scorecard. Basically, a measure is the specific metric used to assess whether your objectives or critical success factors are actually being achieved. The huge takeaway here is that you can create a measure even for something that feels inherently unquantifiable. Like customer satisfaction is just a feeling, right? But you can measure it. You could use a grading system where customers rate your service, and then you just track the percentage of excellent ratings. Boom, quantified. Let's categorize some of these measures using typical examples you might see on the exam. Starting at the bottom with learning and growth, if your critical success factor is the competence of your workers, your specific measure might be hours of training, or maybe personnel turnover. Moving up a level to internal business processes, if your objective is quality, you'd measure the rate of scrap or rework. Moving up again to the customer perspective, if you're aiming for prompt delivery and satisfaction, your measures are going to be your on-time delivery rate, your number of returns, or even your overall market share. And finally, sitting at the top in the financial perspective, if your main goal is to increase sales, well, your measure is simply your gross revenues. All right, section 4, the domino effect scenario, when performance fails. We just talked about how success flows upward, but what happens when performance actually fails? Well, a failure down in your foundation inherently destroys the rest of the pyramid. Imagine this cascading failure, like falling dominoes. In month 1, let's say your company experiences really high personnel turnover. You're losing your absolute best employees. That's a massive failure in the learning and growth perspective. Because you now have untrained staff stepping in, By month 2, you see a huge spike in your rate of scrap and rework. That is a straight-up failure in your internal business processes. Now, because you're constantly reworking defective products, by month 3, you suffer from late deliveries and a spike in product returns. So your customer perspective is now failing. And ultimately in month 4, those angry customers, they stop buying from you, resulting in a severe drop in gross revenues. So as you can see, a failure in learning and growth directly caused a financial disaster right down the line.
Next up is Section 5, CPA BAR Exam Traps. Don't be fooled.
All right, put your coaching hat on with me for a second here, because examiners absolutely love to test your ability to perfectly place these metrics into the right categories. First big tip, do not confuse internal production issues with customer-facing issues. The costs of scrap or the rate of defects that you discover during production, those belong to the internal business process perspective. Why? Because the customer hasn't seen it yet. You caught the defect internally. However, the number of returns absolutely belongs to the customer service perspective. A return means the defective product actually made it into the hands of the buyer and it's damaging your reputation. Examiners are going to try to trick you by putting returns in the internal process bucket. Don't fall for it.
And here is the second major trap, mixing up leading and lagging indicators. Leading indicators predict future performance. We're talking things like customer satisfaction, repeat customers, and training hours. Lagging indicators, on the other hand, reflect past results, essentially all your financial measures, like profit and ROI. Now, the classic exam scenario is a management team trying to boost those short-term lagging financials by, say, cutting costs in customer service or training. Sure, it makes their financial scorecard look fantastic today, but it completely masks a long-term decline in their leading indicators. And honestly, the balanced scorecard is specifically designed to expose this exact kind of destructive behavior.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one question. Will your scorecard reflect passing performance on exam day? Listen, if you just remember the Let's Improve Cash Flow Memory device, understand that bottom-up causal chain, and can accurately categorize measures like scrap, returns, and turnover into their proper perspectives, you are absolutely going to crush this topic, no doubt about it. Keep reviewing these concepts, trust the process, and hey, good luck with your studies. You've got this.